Right.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another today. I'm here with in Vibe HQ, Noise Pollution HQ, with obviously my name's Bobby Vibes, and I'm with Jim BOOGIE.
Hello there. How you doing?
I'm good. Let me just get your.
I've just had a very good swig of water.
Yeah, we've been glugging the ched with abandon.
With nothing to fear.
What's the time? It's I've got you. It's the 14th. It's Valentine's Day. I'm in work, hanging out with Jim. I didn't realise I was in work. Let me just get rid of your things there, Jim. My name's Bobby Vibes. Hi, Jim.
Hey there.
Yeah, I didn't realise I was in work today. I only found out yesterday. But we'd planned to sort of hang out today because I'd bought you some... we got a Sumer order and got loads of nice honey.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to having some of that later on.
So it's wonderful honey. We've got the mics going. So we thought we'd try them out again. Obviously loving the mics. How are you finding the mics, Jim?
The mics sound nice, check one. Sound
lovely, thank you. I, unfortunately, really need a slash.
Oh, goodness.
I'm a human vibrator, so I'm just kind of have to make sure I'm comfortable. So I'll make this quick. It'll be 10 minutes. Then I've got to go to work. Jimmy, you've got the honey on you, and you've got a fresh ched there. Cheers.
Cheers to the ched. Cheers to being hydrated.
Let's get hydrated together.
I like to get hydrated.
Go on, cheers.
Oh, cheers. Big up. Oh. Big up the ched.
Thanks, everyone. Again, feel free if you want some cheds, email us.
And
I'm the only one picking up the emails. We've had 3 emails. Hey.
Oh. Can you give
3 emails. Noise pollution is growing.
You're going to give us a taste of them?
A taste of the emails?
Yeah.
Maybe next time.
Okay.
We've got a bit to get through here because we're thinking, the mics, it's all well and good having a good mic, and I love these mics, and I'm grateful, and I appreciate I'm a loud talker.
Yeah, I feel better with these microphones. These feel better for me.
It's cuddly, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like, comfortable.
We were thinking,
Sounds
so
good.
it's all well and good having a great microphone, but what about the larynx?
Oh, of course.
Right.
There we go.
I was thinking, let's get into the larynx. Let's figure out what it is, what's going on with it a bit more.
I believe in the larynx.
Larry the larynx, that's what mine's called.
First up, though, let's talk a little bit about what the larynx is and where we find it.
Oh, the larynx lady's up right over you, Jim. Sorry about
also commonly known
that.
as the voice box, is located in the anterior neck, anterior to the cervical part of the esophagus. It's quite handy to think about it as the link between the pharynx and the trachea.
There's the pharynx.
So we were talking about the pharynx before. We basically watched a couple of minutes of this. Again, 3 minutes in, there's a lot to get through. I'm only going to do 10 minutes, Jim, but we could talk for ages about the larynx.
Yeah, well, the pharynx is just as fascinating.
And the pharynx is just as fascinating, the trachea. So let's get through it. I love this. I love it.
It's pretty easy to get confused between the pharynx and the larynx.
It really is.
It is indeed.
But if you remember that both food and air pass through the pharynx, but only air passes through the larynx, that should make things a little easier.
Ain't no food in
Although
the
larynx is mobile during swallow.
There's no food in the larynx.
The larynx protects the pharynx.
I'm guessing if you get food in your larynx, you're in distress. You probably, I think.
Yeah,
Swallowing and the process of making sound, it's said that at rest, the larynx sits at the level of the 3rd to 6th cervical vertebrae. This is correct for your average adult male, but in females and children, it tends to sit slightly higher. The larynx also tends to be larger in males, and one of its cartilages, the thyroid, continues to grow until the age of 40.
Your thyroid grows till you're 40?
It projects anteriorly in the midline, forming what we know as the Adam's apple. The larynx serves many important and diverse functions. For instance, it protects our airways from large swallowed matter, which could choke us.
Matter?
It regulates the
Larynx
flow of air
protects.
into the lungs, And finally, it is involved in the production of sound known as phonation.
So the larynx, Jim.
Production of sound known as phonation.
The larynx is just casually like the third thing in a list. So it helps blah, blah, blah. The third thing is it helps you make sounds, which is my favourite thing to... That's music to my ears.
Yeah, sounds are all right.
You think they're all right? We haven't... Yeah. I love them.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
Sound, it's almost like I am, like obviously being the human vibrator that I am, it's important for me to be able to hear things very well.
I really enjoyed thinking about having bees in my larynx.
Bees in your larynx?
Yeah, because they could make a hive and I could get free honey delivered straight to the Gulliver.
The Gulliver?
The Gulliver.
Is that like what you call your gallbladder? Is that what you've... Is that like a cutesy diminutive term for your gallbladder?
I think it was what they called the stomach in A Clockwork Orange.
Oh, was it?
It is, yeah.
Great, I love you for that, mate.
No worries.
Just those little film kind of nods, doffing your cap to...
Oh, I love Kubrick.
Do you?
HAL 9000 is one of my favourite characters of all time.
I was going to do this, wasn't I, for my thing? Because I did the fire thing for you. I was going to do this for me.
Oh, yeah.
And I was going to do the close-up of... and then do that.
You are doing it. You're doing it.
Hey, mate. Oh, this middle one was going to do a... like a weird sort of... See, I haven't got... Time is absolutely flying. I'm going to... just let's learn a little bit more about the larynx, because I feel like that's what we were really interested in. People just think this is like, I'm being facetious. You know, why are you just chatting on?
Well, it sounded like you had like a repeat on your voice then.
Out of which?
It sounded cool. Maybe it was in my mind, but the video of the larynx that's in the more computer graphic-y one. I don't want to say the technical term. That is that queued up?
Gross anatomy. Okay.
So let's take a look at the general anatomy of the larynx as a whole, using this illustration of a posterolateral view of the larynx. Let's start with the laryngeal inlet. The laryngeal inlet is the entrance from the pharynx into the larynx, bordered by the free edge of the epiglottis anteriorly, laterally by the aryepiglottic folds, and posteriorly by the cuneiform and corniculate tubercles, as well as the interarytenoid notch. Don't worry about these structures too much, we'll be going over them later in the tutorial.
Brilliant.
At its most basic level, the larynx contains three main spaces. The first is the vestibule.
The vestibule. Welcome to my larynx.
This is just so fascinating. I don't know. I'm learning. We didn't get this far before.
I don't think you were actually thinking that you'd be learning this hard.
I didn't think I'd be learning this hard about something so interesting.
So I pressed the wrong button.
Space of the larynx, extending from the laryngeal inlet to the vestibular folds. The middle smallest space of the larynx is known as the ventricle and refers to the small space between the vestibular folds and the vocal folds.
The vocal folds.
The most inferior space within the larynx, continuous with that of the trachea, is known as the infraglottic cavity. It stretches between the inferior...
all about the infraglottic cavity.
I love the ventricular part of all things.
Ventricular... I'm a don't know.
A ventriloquist.
I was going to go with I'm a ventriloquist, but like I just have like a larynx. You know,
yeah.
The puppet is a larynx. Larry the larynx.
Yeah.
I'm a larynx bait. I'm a sort of like, what would be the word, like a sort of biologist ventriloquist.
Larynx versus larynx.
The aspect of the vocal folds and the first tracheal
Gruesome
ring.
stuff.
The last structure we should define here is the opening between the vocal folds and the arytenoid cartilages, known as the rima glottidis.
The rima glottidis.
Shake your glotty.
Yep. That's a brilliant...
So now that we've had a general look at the larynx, we can now turn our attention to the cartilages of the larynx.
Brilliant. That is a Scrabble
so
score
once
and a
again
half.
here we have our main illustration, which we'll be using throughout this tutorial. And
hey, we're cartilages of the larynx. It's
and
like
we're here to spread.
Norwegian kind of death.
Presents a beautiful view of all the cartilages and ligaments of the larynx from the posterolateral aspect. The hyoid bone here is always a good way to orientate yourself, as it sits anterior to the larynx and is easy to identify, but it's not considered part of the larynx.
How to orientate while studying.
It's like the Pluto of the solar system of the larynx.
I thought they were talking about how to orientate yourself, like as in having a larynx orientates you in a
Right, we've already done 10 minutes.
Balance kind of way.
Let's leave it as a cliffhanger. We'll watch 1 more minute of this larynx thing. If anyone has any larynx-based jokes, we were talking about how many larynxes does it take to change a light bulb, and it depends on whether it's like a bayonet light bulb
or a
screw-on, and it's the style of it. So, minimal 1.
Bayonet every time.
Maybe maximum 1. All right, well, we're going to leave you with some larynx. I'm glad that I got a Noice out today. I'm on a bit of I think, 11-day streak, which is probably up there with the longest streaks we've had. So I won't be, if I get up to 100, I won't be streaking.
Let's keep
physically.
I think I'll just
maintain a certain amount of decorum in the physical realm and digital realm. But yeah, let's leave it with a bit of larynx. So just enjoy your larynx. Give it a little love. Give it a little love.
The cartilages, there may be some conflicting information out there. So it's universally agreed that we have 3 unpaired cartilages: the epiglottis, the thyroid, and the cricoid cartilages. The paired cartilages are the ones where you might struggle. The arytenoid, the corniculate, and the cuneiform cartilages will appear in all the sources that you look at, but the triticial cartilages may or may not be mentioned.
Okay.
Want to know why? Well, stay with us and you'll find out. Why don't we start with the epiglottis, possibly the best-known cartilage of the larynx. It's a leaf-shaped piece of elastic cartilage which sits posterior to the hyoid bone and anterior to the laryngeal inlet, allowing the passage of air. The main function of the epiglottis is to close off this inlet during swallowing and prevent food from entering the airways.
Swallowing?
As you can see, the epiglottis has a free edge and an attached part. The free superior part is broad, rounded, and occasionally has a notch in the midline. The stalk of the epiglottis is the attached inferior stem-like part of this cartilage.
What? How did that?
It is connected to the posterior surface of the laryngeal prominence of the thyroid cartilage by the thyroepiglottic ligament.
On the fly.
It's quite interesting that the anterior or the lingual surface of the epiglottis is covered by mucosa very similar to the mucosa of the tongue, and even contains some taste buds. The posterior or laryngeal surface is covered in ciliated mucosa, typical of the respiratory tract. Let's move on now to the largest cartilage of the larynx, the thyroid cartilage. It's actually formed of 2 hyaline cartilage laminae which fuse in the midline. The inferior 2/3 form the laryngeal.
Okay, brilliant. Well, I think we've covered quite a lot there. I didn't realise how in depth it was going to be. It's continual learning, isn't it? So we've done. We've done enough larynx love for today, but I think we'll probably I might do it like a weekly thing. I'm probably going to do at least a daily thing where I'm just actively cherishing my
larynx.
My larynx.
Larynx day.
And then maybe we'll have like a microphone day or like a tech day where I'm. I was going to say where we just really respect technology.
I respect technology.
Respect technology. Respectnology.
I like to know this.
So we might have like a technology day where we respect it and we thank all our goodies, all our fun gadgets.
SP.
Oh well, I've done 14 now. I really didn't want to do 14. Sorry, all the hard drives in space.
All your hard drives.
Love you. Bye. See you later, Jim.
Bye.